In a vast space which was not divided at all, that's right, an infinite space, two great energies collided with each other, giving existence to a powerful warrior of a peculiar appearance, since all his hair was a silver color, as on his body red marks covered him. What is this? Who am I? The warrior had been in the first existence in all that gigantic outer space, wandering all over the universe for hundreds of years. He had become bored with his monotonous life. I've lived for hundreds of years, so with 60%, I'll create an existence which is capable of even giving life. And with the remaining 40%, I'll create this protective guardian, who will be the one who guides him all the way. That warrior, with his great, almost infinite power, was able to create the king of the whole, Zeno-sama, being simply a baby. That's right, to the said being need a sufficient amount of energy. Apparently I'll have to use all my energy reserves to create a warrior to protect him. That entity would form the great priest, the first angel of everything existing, which at the moment was able to be born with an incredible power, being below the Zeno-sama, but was able to reason and communicate. You'll be named as the High Priest Daishinkan, and my firstborn. Nice to meet you, Father, but why your firstborn? Were you not the creator of the great Zeno-sama? I have helped its creation, because as far as I was able to realize, I was the first god in these territories. Does that mean that there are only other beings outside these territories? That's right. I only guided myself in the DNA of those beings, so that I'd also be a king of the whole. But you will be my first son, and the one who will guide Zeno-sama in everything. It'll be a pleasure for me, Father. I promise not to let you down. I'm counting on you, Daishinkan. And what'll happen to you, Father? Where are you planning to go? I'm using too much power. To give you the ability of reasoning, I have used all my energy reserves, so I will disappear. Before Daishinkan's able to say anything, the whole body of the god in front of him was enveloped in a great golden light. Daishinkan would take the little Zeno-sama with his great power and knowledge. He was able to create a palace. This will be known as the Kingdom of the All, and will be the home of the great Zeno-sama. Millions of years had already passed in which Zeno-sama had been able to grow, even being able to erase universes, which he understood that they should not exist. Meanwhile, the golden light was able to enter the body of a small Saiyan, which was bound for planet Earth. That great god had fallen asleep totally in the body of Kakarot, having no divine energy. Daishinkan, I feel really bored. I want to do something fun. Tell me, my lord, what do you have in mind? I don't know, Daishinkan. Do you mind if we do some races? All the moment, the god of Universe 7 along with his angel had arrived at the Kingdom of the All. Father, long time no see. I have news about negative energy warriors in Universe 7. My mother has not allowed me to interfere. Long time no see, Whis. You know how she is, Mikoshin. She's not all interested in the life of mortals nor of gods, so you can take proper measures for the matter. When he was about to leave, Zeno-sama would get on Beerus, as if he were dealing with a horse. Beerus would say absolutely nothing since it was about the king at all. Daishinkan would give a smile. God Beerus, I'd ask you in favor to play a moment with the great Zeno-sama, since I have been very bored lately. Beerus, without any option, would play a few moments with the great Zeno-sama. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Goku was being able to face the powerful Kid Buu. His power in Super Saiyan 3 was incredible, being enough to beat Kid Buu. That demon's been powerful. For a moment, I thought I wouldn't be able to defeat him. Kakarot, we have no limits, so even though it's difficult, we'll be able to overcome it. You're right, Vegeta, but I want to become much more powerful. But inside Goku's body, his true essence was about to awaken. That's right, Goku, without knowing it, had been the first to be created by said explosion. For that very reason, said golden light had waited for his counterpart to form a being again. For that reason, his power in each transformation was much more powerful than normal. After a while, Goku would leave to train within the planet of Kaio-sama. I've been able to become very powerful, but I'm still not satisfied with my power. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, he had woken up from his great dream, after exterminating several negative energy warriors. Hey, Whis, if I destroy the planet of the Saiyans as ordered? That's right, my Lord Beerus. 99% of all Saiyans have been annihilated. Now I have to look for the opportunity to fish with that damn Frieza. He thinks he's more powerful than me. That will be impossible, Mr. Beerus, since Frieza was defeated by a Saiyan. Beerus would be very surprised asking to meet said Saiyan, so both deities would quickly leave for the planet of the Kai, where Goku was. This is bad. It's really bad. I feel like the power of Beerus, it's heading towards this place. What's wrong with you, Kai? I can tell how upset you are. But at that moment, two beings would arrive on the planet, leaving Goku a little amazed since he wasn't able to perceive the power of both subjects. Nice to meet you, Saiyan. Is it true that you defeated the mighty Frieza? That's right, I was able to beat Frieza. I want you to have a confrontation with you. I want to prove what is the limit of all your power. It'll be my pleasure to know that you're a god. Without trusting himself, Goku would access the Super Saiyan 3, with which he would begin his attack against Beerus. But it would be in vain, since Beerus was able to dodge each of his blows. Damn it, don't underestimate me. Goku would raise his power to the maximum, which left Whis and Beerus a little surprised. Goku was a few centimeters away from reaching Beerus' face, but the god with great dexterity was able to dodge him. Defeating this Saiyan with 10% of all my power will not be possible. I'll have to release 15% of all my power. Beerus, by releasing 15% of all his power, with an accurate blow to the neck, was able to knock him out of combat. A greeting, KO. We'll see each other next time. Now we'll have to leave to planet Earth. On the planet Earth, the god Beerus would also arrive and search for the Super Saiyan god, but finding absolutely nothing, he would face the Z Warriors. Being in vain, Beerus, being about to destroy the Earth, was able to feel the power of a god. That's right, Goku had been able to access the state of a god because inside lay the essence of the first divine being of all that territory. This is strange. The essence emanating from that Saiyan is incredible. It even seems to overcome the power of Lord Beerus. So, you were just hiding your true power. I don't know how I have this power. Only feeling cornered and knowing that you were going to destroy Earth, this power flowed all over my body. Okay, let's stop talking. Fight against me. So it was as both warriors began with a great battle in which Beerus would use 50% of all his power, being impossible to face the Saiyan, which was dominating the power in its entirety. That's right, the power of Goku was able to overcome 50% of the power of Beerus. Is that all? I thought the God of Destruction would be much more powerful than this. So you're very confident. Now I'll use 100% of all my power to check if you're able to keep up with me. Beerus would begin to expel 100% of all his power, while Whis had placed a powerful barrier throughout Universe 7. Beerus' power seemed to have no limit, while a large purple explosion could be observed by Beerus. I'm ready, Saiyan. Me too. Despite the fact that Goku had his guard up, he was not able to dodge or block a powerful blow, which had been able to leave him almost out of combat, because the power that Beerus had used in that blow was capable of destroying half of the entire Universe 7. That blow wasn't normal. They can't fool me, that blow is extremely powerful, and Kakarot's body was able to resist it. Goku at the time, he would begin to receive a brutal beating, and despite possessing the regeneration of the Super Saiyan God, Beerus' attack even surpassed his regeneration. Beerus in one blow would send him to a few mountains. Is that all you wanted me to use as 100% of all my power for? I must confess, you are powerful, but to face a god, you still don't have the required level. I'm not defeated yet, I can still keep fighting. Goku was able to get back to his feet with great difficulty, but the imposing god to the maximum of his power was able to knock him out again with a single blow to his stomach, with which he was able to make the Saiyan spit out too much blood. That's all for the moment. Let's whiz. Both deities would go to their planet while Goku would put on a recovery machine, so that he would be able to heal all his wounds. However, inside all his energy, his true essence was about to awaken. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Daishinkan was very thoughtful. What happened to my father's existence? I'd like to see him for what I've become. I know he'd be very proud of me. Thus, several months had passed in which Daishinkan was thinking about his father, while Zeno-sama was very thoughtful about organizing a great tournament between all the universes. Daishinkan, I want you to organize a tournament between all the universes to be able to realize who's the most powerful universe and which we can improve. That seems like a great idea to me, great Zeno-sama. I'll inform all the gods of this decision very quickly. Daishinkan quickly was able to inform all the other gods of destruction, so the whole Universe 7 already had his team made. However, Goku, thanks to the training he had received from Whis, was able to connect with his essence much more, even remembering several things from his past life. This is amazing! Despite being left without any divine energy, my technique worked! I'll be able to see everything that has happened in these millions of years. Goku, you're the most powerful warrior in the entire Universe 7. I trust that with your power, we'll be able to win that tournament. Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. I assure you, we'll get that victory. Okay, you can return to planet Earth, as the tournament will be held in about 2 weeks, so you can train or spend with your relatives. I want to unlock all my true essence. I'll leave to the Room of Time. Goku would leave to continue with his mental training, and the Habiticon of Time, in which he was able to take advantage of time in a better way. Goku, while he was meditating, was able to unite his essence in 95%. That's right, he only lacked 5% of essence. I don't think that joining my divine essence would be so complicated, but I'm already very close to achieving it. But in order to not stress out, I'll physically train too. Goku would start training, being able to achieve the perfect Ultra Instinct. That's right, despite possessing the essence of an ancient god, he was never able to know the Ultra Instinct. How strange this state is, but I feel much lighter, and even I feel that I could dodge any attack. To spend 3 years in the Room of Time, Goku would come out with his clothes totally worn out, but his power had grown in an incredible way. I've been able to merge my essence in 98%. I'm satisfied, but I know 2% will find the kingdom of the whole. Goku had left the Room of Time with an incredible power, and remembering most of his life as the first existence of everything created. I'm not sure if I had children or not. That's the last thing I need to remember. Hey, Bug, where'd you get to? I went to train in the time room again. I wanted to perfect a few techniques to win the tournament. I'm not gonna stay behind your power. Rest assured that the least thought day I will surpass you, Kakarot. I'm not gonna let that day come, Vegeta. I want to be the most powerful Saiyan. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, he was very confident because Goku, on this occasion, was even able to defeat him. We'll take the victory of the Tournament of Power since Son Goku's power knows no limits. Mr. Beerus, you better not get complacent, as there may be some warrior more powerful than Mr. Goku. No, Whis, you're wrong. That can't be possible, because if there is someone with that power, he must even be more powerful than his god of destruction. Just like Mr. Goku, there must be warriors in other universes who also overcome the power of their god of destruction. Don't say stupid things, Whis. It's extremely difficult for a mortal to reach the divine ground, and much more complicated to overcome his god. Ho, Mr. Beerus, the only thing I have a feeling is that we will have big surprises in the Tournament of Power. All the other universes were training, others enjoying with their loved ones. That's right, since all the universes had the knowledge that in case of losing, they would be completely eliminated. Hey, Margarita, doesn't all this make you funny? Finally, Jiren and Toppo will have some fun because since they surpassed me, there's no warrior to face them. That's right, Mr. Belmont. I have a lot of explanations in this tournament that the great Zeno-sama has organized. Finally, they'll be able to admire the power of the whole Universe 11. So the 30 days of the Tournament of Power deadline has already passed quickly. However, an entity from another multiverse was watching everything that has happened. That's right, the same entity that had given birth to Mikoshin, the mother of all angels. So the king of everything of this small universe is planning to make a tournament. How fun. But I want them to become much more powerful so I can absorb them. The new entity was the first god of the multiverse too, that is, the multiverse that was on the side. That's right, millions of years ago, space was so gigantic that no matter how much the first existence, known as Kakarot, investigated, he was not able to find other life forms, only observe one life form, which ruled everything very distant from him. For that reason, I created Zeno-sama with this help, while Ryuk created Mikoshin so that the couple with Daishinkan. In about 2 to 3 million more years, all these warriors will be powerful, and my power will increase in an incredible way. Meanwhile, Daishinkan had built a track for the Tournament of Power, in which all the warriors of the 12 universes would participate. But when Universe 7 arrived, an incredible pressure was felt all over the environment. That's right, the warriors of this universe possessed unreal powers. The power of the whole team of Universe 7 exudes is amazing. Apparently, they will be the ones who will get the victory. But after a few minutes from the waiting time to end, Universe 11 would appear, making everything around it tremble. The pressure was even much more powerful than the pressure of Universe 7. What's this pressure? Universe is that emanates all this incredible pressure? I warned you, Mr. Beerus. Apparently, in one universe, a warrior has also been able to overcome his god of destruction. The power that I can feel that warrior exudes is amazing. No, I'm wrong. That duo is the one that exudes all that beastly power. Goku would approach the warriors of Universe 11, but an incredible pressure would collide when both were extremely close. Jiren, with his great speed, would fall down behind Goku. But to everyone's surprise, even for Daishinkan, Goku, with a much higher speed, fell down before Jiren, because when Jiren was about to speak, Goku was on his back. What? Goku's not moving at that speed. What happened to him? That's interesting. You have great speed, but you still lack to be at my level. Damn, are you making fun of me? 1,000 consecutive hits. Hundreds of blows with the simple visual pressure would be launched against Goku. But Goku would quickly activate the Ultra Instinct with which he was able to dodge each of his blows. So the Great Priest would stop that dispute. Goku, by observing him, was able to merge his essence 100%. That's right, observing his firstborn, he had remembered absolutely everything. Daishinkan's been able to rule everything as I've wanted. I'm proud, but I won't reveal it to him that it's me. I'm grateful that all the gods are present. With this tournament, we will be able to know what the level of each universe is. Yeah, this will be a lot of fun. We want to see great battles. Haha, the little Zed apparently hasn't fully matured yet. This tournament has no case. The only competent warrior seems to be the warrior of Beerus, but he'll not stand a chance against the true power of Jiren. Your warriors won't stand a chance against my warrior. However, Beerus seemed very nervous despite witnessing Goku's power. Beerus, even though Jiren hasn't revealed all his power yet, he's on par with my angel Margarita, so it'll be impossible for your warrior. This'll be impossible for Goku, and although he joins forces with Vegeta, he'll never be able to approach the level of an angel. Mr. Beerus, don't be discouraged, as I feel that something very interesting is about to happen. Daishinkan would start the Tournament of Power, in which all the universes began with a great pitched struggle. Meanwhile, from the shadows, Ryuk was watching everything that happened, but from a portal, Mikoshin, the mother of all angels, would appear next to Daishinkan. Mikoshin, what are you doing here? I thought you didn't care about the level of mortals. I still think the same, but I have nothing better to do and nothing more fun than watching the King of Everything eliminate his loser universes. Damn it, just now Mikoshin has arrived. Being my creation, I don't want to end it, but a big part of its essence emanates peace. Unlike when he created it, it emanated total destruction. All the warriors were awarding excellent battles. Several universes had already lost all their warriors, but on this occasion, the elimination was at the end of the tournament. The elimination of this universe will be at the end, so that they will be able to have an apprenticeship after this battle. If he tells us that it'll be an apprenticeship, will he eliminate us, or will we be revived? I don't understand anything. After more than half of the time granted, there were only two universes left standing, which were Universe 11 and Universe 7. However, from Universe 11, there were the Double of Justice. That's what they call themselves. While from Universe 7, there was only Goku left in front of both warriors. Goku from Universe 7. If in 1 against 1 you have a hard time, imagine now that we'll be the duo of justice. Hahaha, 2 versus 1, I like those numbers. Finally a match, which will make me feel proud of my victory. We can observe how the warrior of Universe 7, despite being at a numerical disadvantage, is very confident. Toppo would throw himself against him, but Goku with simple movement was able to send him flying. Jiren in the same way, but both warriors began to exchange millions of blows, which even for the gods were very difficult to be able to keep up with them. Whis, are you able to observe them clearly? That's right, Mr. Beerus, but I must clarify that Mr. Goku's speed has increased in an inhuman way. I'm not gonna wait millions years to absorb these warriors. The power he releases is incredible. If I wait millions more years, he'll be a warrior that I can hardly stop. That's right, the first entity of the neighboring multiverse wanted to absorb Goku, not knowing that Goku was the first existence of this multiverse. I don't want you to get in the way, Topo. Your power compared to mine's not capable of doing anything to me, so I'll eliminate you right now. I'm not planning on giving up, so you won't be able to eliminate me that easily, much less when I use all my power. Topo at that moment would begin to emanate all the energy of the destruction of his body, implying that he was a candidate for God of Destruction. Goku was watching as he released all his power. The work that my son and little Zeno-sama has done has been amazing. They kept a great order in all the universes. I'm glad to know that. Topo, at the end of raising his power to the maximum, he had adapted a much more robust appearance to that of the God of Destruction, throwing several attacks with destructive energy, but to the surprise of everyone present, the energy would evaporate, making every contact with the aura of the Saiyan. It's a pity that my energy is much more destructive and chaotic than that of a God of Destruction, so yes, I'll eliminate you. Goku, as if for a flash, would grant him a single blow on his abdomen, which made him spin everything. That's right, the blow carried an otherworldly force, so much that he was able to knock out Topo while falling off the platform. I can't believe what I just saw. How does that Saiyan have that power? Not even the destructive energy was able to do something to him. I don't really know how I even trained Son Goku has all this power. He never showed it to possess that power when he was training or fighting with me. Mr. Beerus, you better not get so excited, since apparently Mr. Goku's still not fighting with all his power. Don't say stupid things, Whis. Goku can't raise his power anymore. That'd be crazy. Jiren would begin to expel all his power with which towards shaking everything around him. Apparently the statement made by the God of Universe 11 Bellmount was about his warrior was correct. Jiren's power is on par with the power of an angel. Jiren's power, after 2 minutes of increasing, would cause a huge explosion, from which Jiren could be observed at 100% of his full power, while the pressure emanating from his entire body even affected the spectators who were in the stands. Goku, are you really able to cope with that gigantic power? I can tell that you have a gigantic power. Thanks to the battles I've had in this tournament, I've been able to completely master it. So watch. Goku would likewise begin to raise all his power, while his hair began to turn a bright silver color, and the pressure was also very suffocating. After only 1 minute of raising his power, Goku could be seen with silver-colored hair, while his imposing was felt throughout that platform. This is incredible. We've witnessed the power of 2 of the most powerful mortals in the 12 universes. All the gods would stand up, being able to feel the pressure and realize the state of the Saiyan had reached. Son Goku has been able to reach the Ultra Instinct. This is something that I'm not able to assimilate. Even a god has a hard time reaching such a state in total equilibrium. Goku, with a very serious look, would observe Jiren, who in a blink began to release the most destructive battle. This time, even the angels had a little difficulty keeping up with the rhythm of the battle. The battle that is being unleashed is incredible. The power of both subjects is amazing. We can't believe that they are not considered as destructive gods. What fun! Super fast and very powerful. The power of these warriors is incredible. What makes them really special are their genetics, because only 200 years to be able to achieve those powers is absurd. I can't believe that mortals have all that power. I've completely underestimated them. Goku, while exchanging blows with Jiren, would notice a much more powerful presence that Zeno-sama himself had in his sights, so he would communicate with Jiren telepathically. I know we're enemies, but you have to trust me. Since a warrior is about to attack us, I'll take you off the platform with 1 blow. Don't worry, it's been the greatest of honors to fight an ancient god like you. But how do you know that? No ordinary being is capable of possessing all that power, so do it. Goku, with a great blow, was able to throw Jiren off the platform, while Daishinkan proclaimed Goku as the winner of the tournament. A gigantic power would shake everything existing, making even both priests fall to their knees to the ground. What is this? Whose power is this? Divine Seal. Activation! A very powerful seal was able to encapsulate the great Zeno-sama, while Ryuk released his power in a great way. But on the platform, an equally gigantic power would be released. That's right, the power of Goku, the first being of the multiverse, was making all existing. An extremely gigantic power has been released from Goku's body, a power which did not lose against the power of Ryuk, the first created being of the neighboring multiverse, which would leave him very surprised because a mere mortal was able to access those chilling scales of power. Even both priests were speechless. How is it possible that a Saiyan has all that power? Although I'm releasing all my power to be able to withstand the pressure, my body hurts too much. Its power's on another level. Well, what do we have here? I'm surprised that being a simple mortal who does not have even 200 years of training has all that power. But I appreciate that you're so powerful, since you were part of my... Ryuk with a great speed would approach Goku with the intention of giving him a big blow, but Ryuk's simple speed would deform the entire space. Being a few centimeters away, Goku was able to move with great agility, which surprised Ryuk, even everyone present. Mikoshin, were you able to see anything? I wasn't able to even see how I dodged Ryuk's punch. No, Daishinkan, I wasn't able to see anything, but it's a shame for me that my creator wants to absorb this mortal. I imagine how you must feel. But despite being a creation of Ryuk, you have a much purer heart. I know that with the passing of the millennia, you will be a high priestess. Swords of the divine underworld! Two large swords were coming down quickly towards Goku, who would be watching them intently. An attack too giant to be so weak. That's right. Goku was able to stop each of the swords with only one of his fingers, which left Ryuk amazed. What are you? You can't be a mere mortal. Because even among the divine creators, I'm not a weak warrior. My power is in the ranking of the three most powerful divine creatures. Haha! If you're in the rank of the three divine creators, I should be the king of you, since this is nothing to my authentic self. I never thought that I would have to use so much more power, and my body supports. So feel the power that goes beyond a divine creator. Ryuk would begin to expel an amazing power. Even thunderstorms were forming all over the place. This implied such incredible power that Ryuk was able to release. Hell, I won't be able to finish off this warrior just with this transformation, which they called Ultra Instinct. Goku, you better get going. I don't know where you got that power from, but let's reorganize to fight this warrior. That's right, Mr. Goku. It's the best we can do, since nothing and no one will be able to face this warrior. Mr. Goku, I can tell that you have an incredible power. Mikoshin and I will give you the necessary time so that you can escape from this place. My little Daishinkan, you've grown too much. I'm very proud of everything you've achieved and the power you possess. You've done a great job taking care of the little Zen. This is impossible. Maybe are you... A huge explosion was created all over the place. That's right, Ryuk had raised his power to the maximum, with which even his aura was destructive. Are you planning to deal with me with that poor battle level? I'll finish you in one blow. You're not worthy to observe my transformation of Heavenly Emperor, but I'll grant you the pleasure of observing my transformation of Infernal Prince. Ryuk understood absolutely nothing of Goku's words, so he began to laugh. Even his simple laughter caused great havoc through the 12 universes, but his smile would always change to an expression of terror, realizing how Goku's power began to increase in incredible ways. That's right, the power that Goku was releasing even would leave both priests very surprised, which the pressure did not allow them to even move. There is no doubt, this is the essence of my father, my creator. How the hell are you saying this? What do you mean that this simple mortal is the first being of this entire universe? Don't say stupid things. I'm sure of what I'm telling you, Mikoshin. I don't know how he's been able to live in the body of a mortal, but I'm surprised by the power he possesses. Goku's entire body would turn a silver color, as would his hair. While his musculature had increased a little, the new appearance that Son Goku had achieved was the appearance of an extremely terrifying being. What kind of transformations Kakarot using? I have no idea, Mr. Vegeta. You have not registered any transformation of that style. Has Goku always been hiding all his power? All the gods were not able to assimilate the power that, according to their perspective, a mere mortal was able to obtain. The power of the first being of this multiverse is amazing. I can't believe it. I'm sorry for the delay, but I'm not used to accessing 78% of all my power. You don't want to play with me. Must be all your power, so to speak up now. Who the hell are you? You a warrior from another universe? After all, you will die in this place, I'll tell you. I'm the first being just like you, but the difference is that I'm from this universe. No, No, damn it. This is tasteless joke. It was said that the creator of this multiverse lost his life to the creator of his son, the Daishinkan, and helped with the creation of the King of All. I realize that you have been well informed, for part of you are right, but I was able to use a celestial technique which allowed me to reincarnate. I don't care if you're creator of this multiverse. With a body that's simple mortal, you must not have enough potential to defeat me. I'll finish with you. Ryuk, not caring that in front of him, he had the creator of this multiverse, launched himself against him. But great was his surprise when Goku, with a simple glance, made him fall to the ground, and all his bones were completely destroyed. But Goku would realize that all the other gods, angels, and even the priests were suffering due to the pressure. I'm so sorry. I'm still not able to completely master my power. Goku would create a huge barrier in everyone present, who were able to move at will. I can't believe this. Son Goku is a being that has created the whole universe. This means that his position is even above Zeno-sama. I have disrespected him, but I don't want to die. Whis, help me please. Calm down, Mr. Beerus, as Mr. Goku seems to be the usual one, only he has revealed this incredible news to us. Everyone was surprised when both began to fight, but their fight would not stay only in the realm of nothing. Since they had moved through all the 12 universes at extreme speeds, with one big blow they were able to create a space-time gap which had sent them to the multiverse of Ryuk. And in the same way, in his multiverse, hundreds of planets were destroyed. However, Ryuk's power had increased considerably. Ryuk would throw a large sphere of purple energy, so both had taken. I don't know if this is because of fate, but we're now in my multiverse, so I'll be able to use all my power. Because being in your multiverse, I wasn't able to release it, and that's what'll happen with you. You'll not be able to release all your power not being in your multiverse. Ryuk, as if it were a flash, would be placed on Goku's back, which had been carried a powerful blow. By the time it collided with Goku's body, his bones had completely shattered. Have you made your body much more resistant? Seems as if it struck the most powerful steel of all the multiverse. It's a pity that your stupid rule doesn't work with me, because as I told you before, I wasn't using all my power. Now I increased it to 90% for that reason, if my body acquired a greater resistance. Ryuk would feel the real terror going through his body, because despite not showing it, he was trembling, because the power that Goku released from his body was incredible, and when Goku released 90% of his power, the pressure that emanated made him completely retreat. It's just a Goku game. I don't think you took it seriously. No matter what you say, Ryuk, you're trying to end my life, and that's unforgivable, so better be ready to pay a visit to the king of the underworld. When Ryuk realized that Goku was determined to end his life, he would try to escape with his incredible speed. But throughout the multiverse, the voice of Goku would resonate. Dominion release! Saiyan King World! The entire multiverse of Ryuk would be enveloped with a silver dust, just like Goku's transformation, while Ryuk had fallen to the ground, not being able to move in the slightest. Meanwhile, returning to the tournament platform, all the warriors were not able to get out of the said barrier. What happened to the battle? His powers were so great that he could even travel between multiverses. I don't know, but even if it hurts, I want that warrior to end Ryuk's life. He has never had good intentions, and the best thing he could do for the multiverse is to die. Hey Whis, when will we be able to get out of this barrier? Could it be that Goku was able to defeat that powerful warrior? I don't know, Mr. Beerus. But Mr. Goku being transported from multiverse, it's impossible for me to feel his essence. Going back, we can see how Goku is approaching Ryuk, who this time is not able to do anything, because even his bones were completely shattered. It was a terrible decision to want to absorb the warriors of my multiverse, so now you'll pay for all your sins. Please, I ask you, spare my life. For your wealth, women, power, I can grant you everything I've achieved. Even this multiverse could be yours. It's a pity I'm not interested in this kind of thing. All I want is your head. Goku, with a great speed, was able to hold Ryuk by the head, but due to the power he had exerted, he had torn it from his body. Hell, have I made you suffer enough? Divine Light Resurrection! A golden light was able to bring Ryuk back to life again, which was surprised by the ability possessed by Goku. How are you able to play with life and death? That must be impossible for us. Don't compare your limitations with mine, because I don't have limiters. Goku had tortured Ryuk for dozens of times until he got bored of torturing him. So he decided to throw a large fire dragon which would pulverize him in his entirety, leaving absolutely nothing. Several beings who observed a few flashes of battle were surprised. A powerful creator, Ryuk of our multiverse, is dead, who had the necessary power to end his life. Goku was able to open a power with which he would return to his multiverse, specifically to the tournament platform, so the barrier he had placed would disappear. Daishinkan, a little incredulous, would approach Goku. Are you really my father? You're not playing with me. Do you think a mortal would have the knowledge about the other multiverses? And even that race of the little Zeno is the one that governs this entire omniverse. Are there any warriors more powerful than the creator of this multiverse? Can't take in all this information. Father, it's a pleasure for me to see you again. I hope I have fulfilled all your expectations, and above all, not to have let you down. Goku would return to the imperfect Ultra Instinct again, so he'd observe Daishinkan. My son, you've achieved more than I even thought. I'm proud of you. As far as I can tell, I have 12 grandchildren. Sorry for my disrespect. I present to you my 12 children, and likewise to my wife, Mikoshin. Mikoshin, you're a creation of Ryuk, but I'm asking you, don't you have a problem with him ending up being your creator? Of course not, since in his heart there was only the ambition to become more powerful, but in order to absorb many warriors, since he detested training. I understand, but despite all this, we'll have to keep training much harder. As you order, Goku-sama. I don't want to be treated with respect. Since I'm immortal and Beerus, don't worry, I'll be a normal warrior from Universe 7. As you like, Goku-sama. You don't need to be so formal, Beerus. Goku, with his great power, was able to completely annul the seal that Ryuk had placed on the king completely. But when he deactivated it, they realized how Zeno-sama is completely asleep. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, a powerful warrior sitting on his throne would realize how the power of one of the creators of the multiverse had disappeared. So, someone has enough power to take down Ryuk, the creator of one of the multiverse. This will be very interesting. An extremely powerful being was watching everything that happened, while everything around him froze. That's right, this being was also part of this divine creators. The second most powerful god named Kyowa. While taking several steps, everything around him froze. Even beings died because they were not able to withstand that icy pressure that was released from his entire body. One of our own has died, but it was Ryuk, so I'm not interested in the least because with his death, the power that is distributed among us divine creators will increase. Kyowa seemed to be very relaxed since the law of that world was unbreakable, since every time a divine creator was eradicated by a warrior to maintain order, the power of the divine creator was distributed in the three most powerful divine creators. But this time it would be all the contrary, since Kyowa, who had been able to realize the death of Ryuk, remained waiting for 5 days, in which absolutely nothing had happened. The hell is wrong with this damn law of this world? Am I not in the rank of the three most powerful divine creators? This is crazy. The second divine creator at a great speed would enter the palace of the first divine creator, who with a very serious look seemed to be waiting for him. Kyowa, I think I know the reason for your visit. I'm also very surprised that I haven't received some of Ryuk's power. And how are you able to tell me that so relaxed? Someone is taking from us what rightfully belongs to us. We have to put an end to that garbage. I agree with you, but we can't rush because in case the guy's absorbed Ryuk's power is much more powerful, he will tear us to shreds. No, he can't face two divine creators together, so let's go right now. Damn it, Kyowa, stop thinking like a simple child. You have to have a calm mind so that we'll be able to solve this. But all over the place, that's right, even all of the other creators of each of their multiverses began to feel great rumblings. Just like both divine creators, the power that was being released was unreal. So much so that the pressure that was falling on everything was able to crush them, even the divine creators. It was difficult for them to stand. Of whose is this power? I feel like this authority is trying to bend me. Meanwhile, the multiverse of Kakarot, being considered the supreme divine creator, only below the beings of the Zeno-sama race, however, these beings belonged even to another dimension of power. A great sphere of destruction would collide with Goku's body. Everyone present was surprised, as was Goku, who was trying to free himself from all that energy. I recognize this energy. It's Ryuk's, but if I was able to end his pathetic life a few hours ago. In the Kakarot multiverse, only a few hours had passed due to the dilatation of the temporal space, while in other universes, days, months had already passed since Goku's body, instead of rejecting all the power of Ryuk, would begin to assimilate it, which Goku would quickly realize. Goku absorbing all the power of the third divine creator, his fur as in the beginning created the multiverse would become present, while all his power was able to kneel everyone else. Even his power was so much that the other multiverse creators were able to perceive it. Renga, there's no doubt about it. That warrior, he's the one who absorbed Ryuk's power, and he's absorbing it right now, so we can stop him. No, Kyoa, we have to be much more strategic, because if we attack him without knowing anything about him, we'll be completely annihilated, so we must do it having a plan. Damn, I hate this. Ryuk's bastard power has to be ours. Now we'll have to summon a new divine creator. It is the best, because it's only two of us that face that warrior. We'll hardly be able to get out alive. Is that the most powerful divine creator terrified? These words would infuriate Renga, the first divine creator. So in a quick movement, he was able to hold it with his hand, throwing it against the ground all over the place, which had caused great destruction. Furious, Kyoa would try to let go of Renga's grip, but the difference in powers was abysmal, because despite using all his power, he was not able to move it even a single centimeter. Renga, a little furious, would increase the power of his grip a little, while from his hand a great energy attack would be executed, which was able to create a great chaos all over the territory, while Kyoa would appear from a large fragment with ice with several wounds all over his body. Damn, I swear I'll eradicate you, trio of icy wraths! Three giant shadows, but with a great power of ice, would be formed, so they rushed against Renga. But to Kyo's surprise, Renga, with several movements, was able to finish with his technique, which had left him very surprised by the power that Renga had showed him. Damn it, we've never fought each other, but now I understand why he proclaims himself as the most powerful divine creator among us. Let's hope that this small demonstration of my powers may become clear to you. What is the limit of my power? And when I do not intend to let you disrespect me, did you understand? Kyoa, swallowing his pride, would affirm that was said by Renga. Now, get out of my palace. I'll give you the information of when we will go to that warrior, and I hope you're ready to use all your power. Renga would leave again towards his multiverse, but in the course, he would be dragged into the atmosphere of a planet, being completely subdued. That's right, since the power of Goku was able to even break the angelic barriers, while Daishinkan, along with all the other divine beings, had placed, Goku's power continued to increase in an unreal way. Until at a certain point, a big explosion would be created, being able to observe the original form of Kakarot, the creator of the multiverse, which Daishinkan would remember with nostalgia when he was created. Now there's no doubt, Father. It's really you, Daishinkan would say to himself, while he was completely on the ground due to the great pressure that released his father's body. But these were not the only ones, since the previously placed barriers, his power had decreased greatly. But when Goku broke them with his power, this time the pressure that came off was incredible. So much that he was able to bend Kyoa, who was even very badly injured by the battle against Renga. Damn, right now that guy releases all his power. I'm not able to move. Even what Renga said seems to be true, since despite being two divine creators, it seems we have no chance against that being. Renga, which was standing, but a great pressure was falling all over his body, would say to himself, I don't know who the hell you are, but rest assured that I'll absorb all your power. With the power you possess, it'll not be difficult for me to access the Zen clan dimension. That's right, the Being clan was capable of possessing the supreme power. Since the legend of the Zen clan, it was said that they were even capable of possessing the power of omnipresence, just like omnipotence, and a few warriors qualified for combat were capable of possessing omniscience, which put him far above all his race. The power of the Zen clan should not be only theirs. I want to rule everything that exists, and I want to get that power. Renga would leave while everything around him was destroyed, since his pressure was activated to be able to withstand Goku's pressure. Returning to the Kakarot multiverse, Goku would quickly return to his base state, but this time all the power that was able to be released was incredible. So much so that even in his base state, the power he radiated was able to face Ryuk in his first. Wow, this is amazing! Apparently among all the creators, they've created a rule, which when a creator of any multiverse dies, the power is divided into the most powerful. I understand, but since Ryuk's essence is still in this universe, his power is greater than that of the other creators. He is able to absorb all that power for you, Father. That's the most coherent, since I don't have any other hypotheses, but what if Ryuk's said is true? There are two beings more powerful than him. We have to be ready, since I'm sure they'll try to take away our entire multiverse. I'm not interested if you're the first Saiyan or the first creator of this multiverse. I'm not gonna stay behind your power, damn insect. Damn Vegeta, if you head back like this towards the creator of this whole multiverse, I'll personally take care of annihilating you. Goku would stretch out one of his hands. That's what I've always wanted, Vegeta, to have a worthy rival. I know that you'll be able to manage to give me the great battle I deserve. Kakarot, rest assured I'll be able to give you the battle you want. Father, I have so many things to tell you as well as so many things I have to learn. So if you wish to stay in the Kingdom of the All for a few days. Okay, Daishinkan, let me release all the potential of my son Gohan, because he'd be your half-brother and, like you, he has incredible potential. Goku would approach his son, placing his hand on his chest, which he was able to break hundreds of seals, which possessed his body due to the power of the creator of the multiverse. But to eliminate them himself was no problem. At that moment, Gohan's power would begin to overflow because each of his seals had been destroyed. Gohan's body had even evolved. That's right, Gohan was able to access Beast Mode, but the power he gave off was amazing, even for angels, who began talking to each other. The power of Gohan is incredible, but what if we understand is correct? That means that Gohan would be our uncle, or am I wrong, Father? You're not wrong at all, Whis. As Gohan's being my father's son, I'd likewise being his son, we'd be brothers. So Gohan would affirmatively be his uncle. Thank you, Father. The power you've released has been incredible. I can't believe it. With this power, I'll be able to protect the whole Universe 7. Hey, Vegeta, you also have a very old seal, but that seal's specifically for the Saiyan race. But if you want, I can remove it. I hate to admit it, but I want you to remove the seal that possesses my body, to be able to increase my power in a much more effective way. Goku was able to release the seal that had been granted to the Saiyan race, but Vegeta's power had not been able to be released, like Gohan's power. As you're not my son, you'll have to train to unleash your full potential, but this time you'll be able to increase your power about 20 times faster than before. Ha ha ha! Get ready, damn insect, as I'll be able to give you the beating of your life. I hope so, Vegeta. Don't let me down. You may withdraw. Gods and angels, the tournament of power has ended. Giving the victor to Universe 7. All the gods would leave to the respective universes, while Goku, along with Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, had headed towards the palace that Daishinkan had created millions of years ago. Father, I hope that you're proud of how I've guided the king of all Zeno-sama, and that you're also proud of how powerful I've become. Without knowing the future, I was already proud of you, son. I could tell that you're very powerful, and you've been able to get a big family together with Mikoshin. About that, Father. That's right, the only thing that Mikoshin is even more powerful than me. That's no problem, Dai. Since now that your father's returned, he'll take care of training you and that you're able to get a new power. It's okay, Father. I plan to make an effort in this great training that you want to grant me. Okay, Daishinkan. So I want you to be prepared, as I'll use the transformation of the Celestial Emperor, and you'll have to be able to defeat me. But Father, it's impossible for me, because with that transformation, he's always able to beat Ryuk. You have to have confidence in yourself, as even I believe in you, Dai. Goku would begin to access his transformation of the celestial power, so again his entire body would turn silver, as his musculature grew in the same way, and his appearance was even capable of intimidating the most formidable warrior. I hope you're ready, Dai. Of course, Father. I'll still release all my power. Daishinkan would expose all his power to be able to stand up to his father. Meanwhile, the Divine Creators were devising the perfect plan to wrest all the power from Son Goku. Renga, the most powerful Divine Creator, was thinking of the perfect plan to be able to end the life of the warrior, who was able to keep all the power of Ryuk. It's time to go to the Demon Emperor. It's a risky thing, but I have the confidence that both warriors will be on the verge of death, so I'll be able to give the final blow to both. Renga would quickly create a pentagram from which a large red light would rise into the sky, while upon arrival, thousands of golden energy attacks were directed to each of the creators of their respective multiverse. That's right, it was a message in very ancient runes, which were only understood by the creators of the multiverse. My brothers, I know we have never helped each other in anything, but this is life or death. A being who even possesses the power to rival the Zen clan is on the loose, so we plan to free the Demon Emperor. That message had been received by all the creators. The face of several of them was of terror, while Kyoa's face would draw a big smile. Damn, Worm, you beat me up, but I know what you're up to, so count on me for whatever. Meanwhile, returning to the Kakarot multiverse, he was training along with his son Daishinkan, who was having a training partner. As the creator of the multiverse, his progress was abysmal. So at that time, Daishinkan's power was able to rise in incredible ways unlike the other years. Father, this training is amazing. I even feel how my power is hidden is being released. I'm glad to hear that, Dai. Then I'd better go back to my base state since this transformation gives me a horrible appearance. Goku would return to his base state, so he would move towards his son. My son, you have become very powerful, but I belong to Universe 7, and I have to come back since I want the gods to become very powerful. I understand, Father. Don't worry. I'll continue to strive every day to make you feel proud of me. Daishinkan, since the day I believed you, I've been proud of you. So you don't have to worry. Goku would quickly disappear from the place, arriving in a matter of seconds to the planet of Beerus. The instant he arrived, he would observe how Vegeta was training with Beerus, so the god of destruction would throw him a large sphere of mass destruction, which was even capable of disintegrating any other warrior. But Vegeta, with his new unlocked power, was able to absorb all that large sphere, so at the moment Vegeta's body was undergoing a transformation, while his aura became much more aggressive, just as his hair began to turn a purple color, just like his aura. From a great roar of Ozaru, the aura would spread throughout the planet of Beerus, being able to observe Vegeta's new appearance. I must thank you, Kakarot, because without your help I wouldn't have been able to master the full power of God of Destruction. I can see how you reached a new level, but do you think you have the necessary power to give me a good battle? We'll only know until we check it out. Both warriors at incredible speed began to exchange hundreds of blows, with which they even cracked the same dimension in which they were. This is amazing! Lord Vegeta's power has been raised in a surprising way. Apparently, even we angels have to choose to train. That's right, Whis, because even angels can be reached, if all of us strive every day. Mr. Goku, since when have you been here? I wasn't able to feel your presence. Since Vegeta was able to achieve his new transformation. They both kept watching as the battle went on, but at a certain point, Goku's gaze would change drastically. Whose power is this? By his trajectory, I could tell that he's heading to this place. If he continues with the speed he has, he'll arrive in 5 minutes. But a big shadow of his sword was able to thrash him, making him fall hard, even being dragged by a large stretch of the planet. You're wrong. It wasn't taking 5 minutes, but you were careless. Now I'll finish with you. The new warrior named Fiachi, which seemed to be the mutation of some warrior, since he only had one eye, as well as the power he emanated, was incredible. Mr. Goku, are you alright? Whis would try to pounce against the new enemy, but it was impossible for him, since throughout the 12 universes, an incredible pressure was able to bend everyone, even the great priest Daishinkan. What's going on? I can't move. I'm sure this warrior is looking for my father. I've come to his aid. Daishinkan, no matter how much effort he made, it was impossible, since the pressure of that warrior was on par with the divine creator. Returning to the planet of Beerus, this is the matter of seconds, seemed to be of the same underworld, since only volcanoes and total destruction could be seen. Beerus and Vegeta likewise were not able to move. From the hole, a great light could be seen. That's right, Goku had accessed the perfect Ultra Instinct. Ah, damn, that hurt me too much. Who do you think you are? As far as I can tell, Ryuk's death has brought several problems. Goku, as if he were a fiend, would begin to walk while from his whole body, fire radiated and healed the wound of that furtive blow. As far as I can tell, you've been sent by the creators of the multiverses. So, I want to see what you could do. Ha 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 ha! For a mere mortal, you have a very high ego. So I'll beat it down right now. Fyachi rushed against Goku at a great speed, which no one was able to follow. But everyone was surprised when they observed how Goku was still standing. But he had one of his hands stretched out. Fyachi had been sent flying, forming a huge crater. What did you think of just one of my punches? Despite only being able to use the Ultra Instinct, I've been able to bear a greater power of burden. Annoying Fyachi would increase his power to the limit, while each of the creators of the multiverses were watching everything that happened. This is amazing. That guy is able to blow up Fyachi in one swoop. What the hell is that guy? Renga was the only one who could watch everything that happened, since he was very thoughtful. The power of that warrior is incredible. He's able to send one of the 4 demon aristocrats to fly, since the other creators refused to summon the Demon Emperor because it would have been a double-edged sword. Flashback. So we have to summon the Demon Emperor, since the warrior's power seems to be on par with Zen Clan. We can't allow his evolution. But how do you want to summon the Demon Emperor? We have to use a lot of our resources and power to be able to summon him. We are correct, but I'm sure that with the fall of the warrior, we'll be able to obtain much more. I refuse, since we can send one of the 4 demon aristocrats first, and if he really is able to beat him, we'll go to the Demon Emperor. All the other creators agreed with the creator Cirrus, so they were able to summon one of the aristocrats. End of flashback. The aristocrat, who had been summoned despite possessing immense power, did not seem to be enough to face Goku, who, in each exchange of blows, seemed to be taking more and more advantage against the warrior. Damn it, I can't let this warrior make fun of me. I've trained for billions of years, and this mortal, he won't be able to beat me. Fyachi, with too much anger, would pounce against Goku, but to his surprise, his punches on this occasion were even dark in color. That's right, Goku was using an advanced assassination technique, which consisted of poisoning his enemy by means of his own fists. Since you've arrived on this planet, you'd lost this battle, since you should never enter this territory. It's too late for them to save your life. What do you mean? I'm still able to carry on with this battle. I'm not defeated yet. Hahaha, it's a shame, but you'll serve as an example for everyone else who's watching this combat. Explosion of the Supreme God Saiyan! A big explosion would be created from Fyachi's body. That's right, the poisoning was so much that it had become a time bomb waiting to be simply detonated by his rival, which left each of the creators of the multiverse surprised, since only several of his bones had remained on the battlefield. You who are watching all this, I hope you're ready, since I don't plan to leave any of you alive. Communication would be cut, so all the creators of the multiverse began to panic, and likewise Cirrus would communicate with Renga. Renga, you were right. Do everything you can to stop that guy. He was able to send the life of a demonic aristocrat without any difficulty. We'll have to bet everything. I had warned you from the beginning that Saiyan can't be a simple warrior, as we regret if we underestimated him. Renga, it's time that we don't matter if the other creators disagree. We have to do it. We can't allow it. Don't worry, Kyo, as Cirrus has spoken for all the other creators, so we'll have all his support. Finally, an opponent which will make that miserable. Returning to the planet of Beerus, Goku quickly with his great divine energy was able to heal everyone present. And likewise, all the gods along with their angels and even Daishinkan had arrived on the planet of Beerus. Father, are you alright? Of course I feel fine, Daishinkan. That guy was nothing to my power. Mr. Goku, but if this is the beginning of a war, we'll not be able to help you since your power is far above ours. Whis, you're wrong. All of us can become very powerful. We'll just have to trust in ourselves and give the best in each of our workouts. As Vegeta said, we can all become much more powerful.
so I'm counting on you, as this will be the beginning of a great war.
Meanwhile, in a place far away from everything existing, where only a few stars were able to be observed, both divine creators could be observed. Kyoa, I hope you're ready, since we'll be channeling of the energy, all while the other creators channel their power to you.
I'm ready. I'm not going to surrender the power to any other creator. That power by law belongs to us.
Both began to channel all their power, so from one moment to another, a gigantic claw would begin to take away all the power that Kyoa was channeling from his other companions, while Renga began to recite some words in a very ancient language that this time even Kyoa was not able to recognize. But at the moment, the great claw would disappear from the place, while a portal would be formed all over that empty space. He was still not able to observe absolutely anything, but the pressure he felt on this occasion hinted at the incredible power from the guy who was about to leave. At the moment, a great warrior with white hair and an iron arm could be observed. But at the moment of the portal closing, all the pressure of the warrior would be released, with which he was able to bend all the multiverses. Even that pressure would reach the place where Goku was talking with all the other warriors.
What the hell is this? I can't believe it. Even I'm not able to move freely. Sacred expulsion of energy.
A large golden light was able to cover the entire multiverse so that the presents are not able to be affected by the great pressure that was unleashed.
Father, whose pressure is that?
I feel like she is able to almost take her life away from me.
Despite having placed several sacred energy barriers, I haven't been able to contain the pressure of that guy. But who is he? I don't know if there's such a powerful warrior.
So long time without breathing this warm air. So you simple multiversal creators were the ones who set me free.
That's right,
Before Kyoa could finish what he was about to say, he would be held very tightly by the neck and crushed against the surface of a planet. Kyoa had been left on the verge of death. I have not given you permission to speak. Be thankful that I haven't ended your life. I need to release my power as it's been compressed for a long time. The Demon Emperor had returned, and with this, an amazing power was able to make all the creator multiverses shudder, and even causing various havoc all over the place. That mythical warrior had returned again. After millions of years, a warrior which was even much older than the being that we know as Kakarot, the first being of the multiverse, since this powerful warrior, originally called the Exterminator, was a powerful warrior who faced the race of Zeno-sama. That's right, he turned out to be so powerful that he was even able to defeat several of the mythical race. So all the warriors united their powers, being able to seal that powerful warrior. Finally, we have been able to seal that damn monster. And that seal, he'll never be able to get out. So we can rest easy. But after millions of years, the gods of the other multiverses were able to bring him back to life. But Kyoa was already on the verge of death, so Renga, being the most powerful god of all, would expel all his power, with the intention of helping his colleague. But it was impossible for him because despite having released all that beastly power, for the Exterminator, it was not a surprising power. Ha 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 ha! What is it that you intend? If you both want to die in this same place, you can let me know, and I'll exterminate you. But I was giving him a lesson, so he doesn't move that stupid tongue without my permission.
I feel like we've made a serious mistake, as this fucking bastard is capable of finishing us off at any moment.
Don't worry. By their expressions, they'll think I ended their lives. No, I won't, as long as they follow all of my orders. But since who I have to finish first. The Exterminator at a flashing speed would begin to move through each multiverse, regardless of the destruction it left behind. Goku was able to notice how an extremely powerful warrior was approaching his multiverse.
Daishinkan, and everyone else, I want you to leave to the farthest place in all the 12 universes. No matter what happens, leave!
But Father, we can help you, please. Let us be of help. Goku, without paying attention, would begin to access one of his most powerful transformations, of which the entire multiverse would likewise begin to shudder, due to the large amount of energy that was released. But Goku tried to keep all the universes without any danger, so at the moment he was able to channel in the same way a great barrier in all the universes. Goku, with his great power, was able to observe as a fist of a super speed was heading towards his face. But it was useless trying to dodge it, since in a matter of milliseconds Goku was completely nailed to a planet, which would be destroyed by the incredible power of the blow. Goku would stand up and vomited large amounts of blood.
That hurt me too much. Who are you? I never knew about your existence, so tell me, how'd you manage to possess all that power?
You have so many questions, but I was a being that even appeared long before you. A being that was able to cope to the useless of Zeno's race.
This is amazing. In that case, I'll have to use all my power, but it's the thing that I want the least, since I'm not able to control it completely.
The Exterminator, no matter that Goku looked thoughtful, had launched himself against him, being able to grant him millions of blows, which, despite Goku possessing great resistance, was not able to withstand all the blows of the Exterminator. Meanwhile, the multiversal kings, like the Divine Kingdom, were watching everything. Very attentive, since on this occasion they were able to do absolutely nothing. I hope that both are on the verge of death, because if one of the two survives, our end will be inevitable.
Why do you say that, mate? If we finish with the miserable being who claims to be one of the ancient gods, we'll have won.
I agree that we'll win against that powerful warrior, but we'll lose our lives. For this cursed one that we have summoned, since his power's on another level, and if we refuse in one of his requests, we'll die. The exchange of blows was clear, since Goku seemed to be a simple punching bag because he wasn't able to defend himself at all. So he had fallen to the ground once again, but each of his bones were completely destroyed.
Damn it! I'll have to use all my power. Sorry, universe. I promise to bring them to life when this is all over.
Goku's power would begin to rise to the maximum, so the Exterminator, instead of attacking him, would start staring at him. I want you to increase all your power because I want to end your miserable life, when you're giving everything of yourself and that your gaze changes to despair. Goku would continue with his great increase in energy, so after several minutes, a larger Zaru could be observed for each of the multiverses. While the pressure that fell on everyone present was evident, but the Exterminator, by releasing his pressure a little more, was able to disintegrate the pressure of Goku. Despite having a huge increase in your power, you won't be able to do anything against me, so I better be prepared to go to the afterlife. Goku, at the end of his great transformation, an opposing warrior with silver hair could be observed, which without wasting time was able to grant him a powerful blow in the face of his enemy. But he was only able to turn it, which left him surprised.
It can't be happening. It's a nightmare. No one can possess that resistance. You're not a living being, nor a god. What is it that you are?
That's what I wonder, but I'll show you how a blow is given. The Exterminator, holding one of Goku's hands, was able to give him a blow in the stomach. Goku felt how even his life was taken away, since the power of that blow was another level that no being was able to withstand. Ha 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 ha! Well, I'm surprised you were able to withstand that blow, since that blow possessed the power to even wipe out a multiverse in its entirety. Daishinkan was furious, trying to leave to the place, but he would be stopped by another one of his children. However, in front of all the warriors, a being similar to Zeno-sama would appear.
Zeno-sama, you possess a power required to stand up to that warrior. Our race is a race of prodigies. We trust in you. I'm only able to exterminate warriors who are much weaker than me, and that's not the case. Zeno-sama, of course you can, but apparently you haven't been able to understand me. I want you to merge with that warrior so that forming a single subject they'll be able to defeat him. My friend and I merge to bring peace to the 12 universes. It seems very good to me, and of course we will.
In that case, angels and gods, the great Zeno-sama and my father will need time, so we will grant him the time they require. Of course, Daishinkan-sama. It's all for our universes. All the warriors quickly head to the battlefield, in which, despite all this power, Goku is being completely humiliated. So everyone else stood in front of that powerful warrior, but fell to their knees before his simple pressure. I don't want scumbags like you guys to come in my way. Zeno-sama would approach Goku, being able to heal several of his wounds.
Thank you for creating me, but I already know what I should do, and we will do it together.
Zeno-sama would begin to unite with Goku, while the Exterminator was humiliating all the warriors of the Divine World. Meanwhile, with both multiversal gods, they were watching absolutely everything that happened. This battle has been ours, but we have to come up with a plan to be able to reseal it, as otherwise they'll finish us off.
I beg to differ, but we don't have that required power to be able to do such a feat.
Yes, we should ally with the beings of that race, so we'll be able to completely reseal it. But they were taken out of their conversation at the moment, that both at the time were dragged to the ground due to the powerful pressure, which was even capable of breaking the bones of both multiversal gods. expelling large amounts of blood all over the place. Renga would try to stand up, but it was impossible for him. What the hell? Whose pressure is this? I feel like my whole body hurts and weighs too much. Both kings were terrified to witness, as the power of the first being of that multiverse was radiating a power that was capable of erasing everything in its path. That's right, the power of Son Goku on this occasion was incredible, so much that he'd reached a new evolution in which even his clothes would change to the clothing of beings of the Zen race. So the Exterminator was a little surprised because in front of him was his enemy race. I don't know how you're able to get all that power, but I swear I'll end your miserable life this very instant. The Exterminator launched against Goku, but a powerful rumble was felt on a planet, so everyone could not believe what they were coming. That's right, the Exterminator had been sent flying with a force that couldn't be described. Your end has come, and I already know who's behind all this, so don't worry, because by ending your life, I'll end the lives of those bastards. Both kings, when they heard Goku's words, panicked, but they weren't able to move a single centimeter. I'm not interested in being the slave of that bastard, but I don't want to die. I want him to end the existence of that miserable. The great battle would begin, while in the same way, beings of the higher kingdom, that is, of the race of Zeno-sama, were observing everything that happened, realizing as the union of both beings had formed an extremely powerful being, which on this occasion the Exterminator would not be sealed. On the contrary, he would be completely annihilated. Goku connected a powerful knee to the stomach, which was powerful enough to make him vomit multiple amounts of blood. The Exterminator would try to on his feet, but it was impossible for him to, since even his legs were shaking. Apparently you're not able to withstand all the power I possess now, so I don't have to prolong the fight much longer. I'm not going to die in this battle. I swear on my life I'll finish you. The Exterminator had again thrown himself against Goku, so at the moment, both began to exchange millions of blows again. But the Exterminator in each exchange of blows was very badly injured. Father, you can. Always trust you. End that miserable bastard who has destroyed our entire multiverse. Goku would connect with him one last blow, sending him flying, but the power of that blow was totally different, since he wasn't able to destroy his entire internal energy system, so at the moment he was not able to channel any of his power. No, damn! I can't lose so humiliatingly. I'm not gonna give up against a worm like you're miserable. It's a pity that the worm you're talking about is able to finish you, miserable trash. Goku began to approach the Exterminator, who, for the first time in his entire existence, began to feel the true terror. But Goku, without wasting time, of a great attack of energy, was able to completely exterminate him. So he would quickly begin to move between all the multiverses, arriving in a matter of seconds in front of both kings of the multiverse. Ha ha ha! So you couldn't help but feel envious of being as much more powerful than you. You really are scumbags. Please forgive my life. I've been manipulated by Renga. He, being much more powerful than me, was able to wash my mind. It's a pity I don't believe any of your words, so they'd better get their shit together in the other world. Only with the expulsion of all his power was Goku able to end the life of both, so by possessing all that bestial power, he would rise to the top of the multiverses, beginning to rebuild everything destroyed since the Exterminator had awakened. That feat, he had worn out almost all of his power, so when he returned, he would sit on the throne of the King of all. Father, perhaps from today on, you'll be the ruler. That's right. From today, I'll be the ruler of all the multiverses, and I'll be their protector. Thus it was, as the first being of the multiverse, named Kakarot, he was able to bring defeat to a much more powerful being than him, but with the help of the unlimited powers of the Zeno-sama race. 70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was. What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void? What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son. Zeno-sama, my son, you've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored.
Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. That was our first encounter with an enemy of another level. But we cannot forget the cell bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong. Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time you showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
The fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest. Yes, but don't forget about Beerus. That god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right, and now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly! Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe. The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving.
Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong, but I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest. Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark, and a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis? Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be? The darkness intensifies, and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula. Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What? The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems. This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents?
The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him. I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse? At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies. Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as supreme god. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point.
The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous. Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury. You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination. It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail. In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation. In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared. You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I'll give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so the power will prevail. Earth 2024.
What?
This can't be true.
Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally. The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturn. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes. Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants. The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before. After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament. Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It'll be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences. In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods. Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle. At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for their survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them. But what is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior will be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you?
We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted. The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law. The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, will not allow them to stop our progress. The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages in the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum. Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out.
Let's go, Kakarot! The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the Shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans? Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par.
Damn it! We can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity, and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin. Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta, this creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this!
For once, Kakarot, I agree. The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyans' attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast! The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together!
Alright, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it! Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kamehameha! Final Flash! The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyans' assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely. Vegeta, we're in trouble! This thing's stronger than we thought! Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing. Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta! The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes. Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince. Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground. Vegeta, we need a plan. The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy. Kakarot, do whatever it takes. The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds. Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting! At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince. As he stood up, his eyes were gaining determination. Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting. Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique? Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies. Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge! I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice. Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light. It's time to seal your fate.
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. the resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Stargora completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku! Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight! We won't let them defeat us!
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly! Gohan, Broly, stay strong!
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it!
The battle intensified as the shadow creature and its enhanced form launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming!
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him.
We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist!
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature and Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature, on the brink of the abyss, responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan. The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature.
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious. The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta. Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us! The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos it had sown, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession. Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this! Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the Shadow Creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the Shadow Creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The Shadow Creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The Dark Entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn Shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The Shadow Creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the Shadow Creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The Shadow Creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the Shadow Creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the Shadow Creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the Shadow Creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The Dark Entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The Dark Creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the Dark Entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the Shadow Creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The Shadow Creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The Shadow Creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The Shadow Creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The Shadow Creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power. As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way! The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways. Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it! The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan? As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this. The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small Shadow Leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishinkan discovered that Zeno-sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishinkan, the high priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishinkan, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno-sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno-sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno-sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mohito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice. How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno-sama's father could have committed such an act?
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked, "And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno-sama?"
That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The hall of the realm of everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno-sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno-sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the hall of the realm of everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the Hall of Everything, Daishinkan, the High Priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishinkan continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the Angel of Champa, raised his hand.
How do you plan for us to move, Daishinkan? We each have responsibilities in our universes. I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishinkan. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewin, Cognac and Quintella, Matanu and Geen, Wissambiris, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thraxis Nocturne lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewin, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno-sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thraxis Nocturne. Ewin, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos. Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans. The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl. its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Iwin launched destructive beams, while Iwamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation.
Iwin, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious.
I know, Iwamo, but we can't let him destroy Thrax's Nocturne. We must give our best. The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Iwin tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive, countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force.
Our conventional methods don't work. Iwin, we need to combine our forces.
I agree, Iwamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction. Iwamo and Iwin merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Iwamo and Iwin struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thrax's Nocturne was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Iwamo and Iwin unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thrax's Nocturne. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet. It's time to show the true extent of our power, Iwamo. The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Iwamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature, allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance.
Keep calm, Iwin. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness.
Iwin nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Iwamo and the god of destruction Iwin soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Iwamo channeled the energy of destruction while Iwin released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Iwamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Iwamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Iwamo and Iwin, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Iwamo and Iwin. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thrax's Nocturne. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Iwamo and Iwin, the space around Thrax's Nocturne was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thrax's Nocturne was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Iwin, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, angel and god of destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewan. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger.
Understood, Owamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thraxis Nocturne. The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space, while Owamo and Ewan responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Owamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewan, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this.
We must find a way to counteract his ability to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Owamo? Owamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Owamo and Ewan, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks. Owamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewan, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way.
Explain yourself, Owamo. Owamo explained his plan to Ewan, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Owamo and Ewan were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewan, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewan nodded and channeled his energy to Owamo, who, in turn, merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain. The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity. The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Owamo and Ewan's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely. We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Owamo and Ewan had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thraxis Nocturne. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Owamo and Ewan's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain his strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thraxis Nocturne because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thraxis Nocturne, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Awamo and Ewin, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thraxis Nocturne, the darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Ewin, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her.
Understood, Awamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity. The shadow creature descended on Thraxis Nocturne with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thraxis Nocturne.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Awamo and Ewin, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible.
Your previous strategy was effective, Awamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power. Deep in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne, the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser.
Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thraxis Nocturne. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure. I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thraxis Nocturne.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable.
We won't let you destroy Thraxis Nocturne. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against.
Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thraxis Nocturne, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thraxis Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Owamo and Ewin, the angels charged with protecting Thraxus Nocturne, arrived on the battlefield. The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet. Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness. The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness. Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Owamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewin, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with the unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thraxus Nocturne from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thraxus Nocturne. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed. In the dark skies of Thraxus Nocturne, the stage was transformed into a cosmic battlefield, where divine light and malevolent darkness collided in an epic confrontation. Owamo and Ewin, the guardians of this planet, displayed their celestial power with a grace and precision that defied description. The glow of the purifying light emanating from Ewin and Owamo spread across the space, illuminating the shadows that the shadow creature was trying to grasp. Ewin and Owamo's every move was a ballet of divine energy, as they gracefully dodged the dark attacks and countered with unstoppable force. Owamo's wings shone with a resplendent light, like stars in the night, as he invoked the very essence of creation to repel the dark forces rising up against him. By his side, Ewin radiated an imposing presence, with his penetrating gaze fixed on the creature as it defying the darkness itself. The shadow creature, on the other hand, was fighting with an impressive ferocity, trying to resist the overwhelming power of Ewin and Owamo. Their dark attacks were launched like ravenous shadows, seeking to consume the divine light that surrounded them. However, every attack was countered by the impenetrable force of Ewin and Owamo, who remained firm in their purpose to protect the planet. The clash between light and darkness created a symphony of cosmic energy, with flashes of light and bursts of energy illuminating the firmament. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Your power is formidable, but it cannot resist the purity of creation.
You can't stop me. I'm the very embodiment of darkness.
Darkness can be powerful, but the real strength lies in balance, and we represent that balance. Ewin and Owamo continued to deploy their energy with amazing precision, creating light barriers that repelled the attacks of the shadow creature. Every movement of Ewin and Owamo was imbued with a divine elegance and grace, while the creature struggled with a desperate ferocity. Our mission is to protect the harmony of the universe, and that includes protecting this planet from your darkness.
You can't stop me. I'm inevitable.
The shadow creature launched waves of dark energy, but Ewin and Owamo easily repelled them, maintaining an opposing presence in the midst of battle. Every blow of Ewin and Owamo resonated with the force of creation, while the creature struggled more and more desperately. The darkness can be a challenge, but our determination's unwavering. We'll not let you destroy this planet. Your power may be formidable, but it cannot equal the eternal light of the universe. The battle continued with Ewin and Owamo and the shadow creature facing off in an epic clash between light and dark. In the midst of the struggle, Father Zeno, silently watched from his kingdom, perceived the magnitude of the conflict. With an imperceptible gesture, he decided to intervene, taking Ewin and Iwamo to a mental plane where they could confront the shadow creature in a terrain beyond the physical. In a flash of dazzling light, Iwamo and Ewin were transported to an ethereal realm, where the laws of the universe twisted and blurred.
Where are we, Ewin?
We have entered the realm of the mind, a place where reality is molded according to the will of the observer. Here the real battle be fought in the deepest corners of our being. While Iwamo and Ewin were transported to a mental plane by Father Zeno, the shadow creature continued its fierce assault against the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and Cooler, the most powerful warriors on the planet, rose up against the darkness that threatened to consume their home. The shadow creature, imbued with a dark and malevolent aura, hovered over them with an overwhelming presence. He distorted his energy, enveloping everything around him, tearing reality itself apart, and threatening to plunge the planet into an abyss of chaos.
We won't let you destroy our home, shadow monster.
We, the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, are not afraid of the dark.
We have faced much greater dangers than you, creature.
We will fight together to protect our world.
The shadow creature launched a powerful dark attack towards the warriors, but they responded with relentless ferocity. Turles, his eyes shining with determination, unleashed a shower of destructive energy, summoning the very essence of nature to channel it in a torrent of energetic attacks. Their powerful attacks cut through the darkness with devastating precision, creating dazzling explosions that lit up the planet's night sky. Bardock, with his fiery ki and indomitable spirit, channeled his energy into a powerful attack. His fists were burning with a searing intensity as he launched a concentrated burst of energy towards the shadow creature, challenging its strength with its own. Bardock's attack resonated with the determination of an invincible warrior, willing to give everything for the protection of his world. Raditz and Cooler, united in battle, joined in a coordinated assault on the shadow creature. With fluid and coordinated movements, they launched bursts of energy from different angles, creating a barrier of attacks that surrounded their enemy. The shadow creature struggled to defend itself against the combined onslaught of the two powerful warriors, but its resistance was challenged by the determination and skill of Raditz and Cooler. Meanwhile, Frieza, with his golden form glowing with a golden aura, was preparing to unleash his full power against the shadow creature. His eyes shone with a cold and calculated determination as he focused his energy on a devastating attack. With a graceful and precise movement, Frieza unleashed a burst of golden energy that swirled with unparalleled destructive power, threatening to envelop the shadow creature in a mantle of fire and destruction. The battle escalated as the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne bravely faced the darkness that threatened their world. Every blow, every burst of energy echoed through space, creating a spectacle of destruction and determination. Meanwhile, on the mental plane, Iwamo and Ewin were engaged in a metaphysical struggle against Father Zeno, an omnipotent entity whose presence radiated an aura of indescribable power. Ewin and Iwamo, aware of the gravity of the situation, desperately sought the intervention of Father Zeno to counter the threat of the shadow creature. However, to their surprise, Father Zeno solemnly informed them that they could not intervene directly, since the balance of the universe had to be kept intact even in times of crisis. Iwamo and Ewin, although unhappy with Father Zeno's decision, understood the importance of respecting the laws of the cosmos. With determination, they plunged even deeper into the metaphysical struggle, using all their ingenuity and power to find a solution to the crisis unfolding in Thraxis Nocturne. As the confrontation on the mental plane reached its climax, Iwamo and Ewin found themselves face to face with the imposing Father Zeno. His figure radiated an indisputable authority, but also an aura of mystery that aroused restlessness in the Ewin and Iwamo. Iwamo, with his usual serenity, broke the tense silence that filled the ethereal space. "Father Zeno," he began in a firm but respectful tone, "could it be you that... Were you the one who sent the shadow creatures to destroy the planets?" Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, nodded slowly.
"I did it for the good of the universe,"
he replied calmly. Although his voice resonated with a power that shook Ewin and Iwamo, sometimes drastic measures must be taken to preserve the cosmic balance. Ewin, with a flash of indignation in his eyes, could not contain himself anymore. "But that doesn't justify the chaos and destruction you've unleashed!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing with unshakable determination. "There are other ways to restore balance without resorting to violence and darkness." Father Zeno observed the god of destruction and his angel with a penetrating gaze, as if he were evaluating their words and their posture. "Your compassion is admirable, but sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice a few pieces to save the entire board," he said in an enigmatic tone. Awamo and Ewin exchanged determined glances. Although they respected Father Zeno's authority, they knew that they had to follow their own principles and convictions. With courage, they prepared to challenge the omnipotent being in front of them, willing to fight for what they believed was right, even if it meant facing the divinity itself. The air on the mental plane was charged with tension, as Awamo and Ewin prepared to face Father Zeno. Their divine auras collided in a show of titanic forces, as Ewin and Awamo prepared to challenge the supreme being in front of them. Awamo, with his heavenly book in hand, looked at Father Zeno with determination. "Father Zeno, although we respect your authority, we cannot allow you to continue with this destruction," he stated firmly. "We'll fight for peace and balance in the universe, even if it means standing up to you." Father Zeno, with an impenetrable calm, nodded in recognition. "Your courage is admirable, but you will not be able to stop me," he replied calmly. "The fate of the universe is in my hands, and I'll do whatever it takes to preserve its balance." Without further words, the battle began with a burst of divine energy. Awamo unleashed his celestial power, summoning rays of light that he threw against Father Zeno, while Ewin threw waves of energy with determination. However, Father Zeno showed impressive resilience, deflecting every attack with surprising ease. The fight went on for what seemed like an eternity, with Ewin and Awamo and Father Zeno trading punches and counterpunches in a cosmic dance of power and skill. Every movement was imbued with a supernatural force, while the mental plane trembled under the intensity of his conflict. However, as time passed, Awamo and Ewin began to feel the weight of their opponent. Father Zeno's power was overwhelming, and every blow Ewin and Awamo received weakened them even more. Despite their bravery and determination, it seemed that they were fighting against an impossible-to-defeat force. Awamo, panting from the effort, looked at his companion with concern. "Ewin, we can't go on like this," he admitted sincerely. "Father Zeno's too powerful for us." Ewin, though exhausted, nodded determinedly. "I know, Awamo, but we can't give up," he replied firmly. "We must keep fighting, for Thraxus Nocturne, and for all beings in the universe." With a final effort, Ewin and Awamo gathered their forces to launch a final attack against Father Zeno. However, the Supreme Being easily overcame them, deflecting his power with a contemptuous gesture. Father Zeno looked at Ewin and Awamo with a mixture of admiration and regret. "They're brave, but their struggle has come to an end," he solemnly declared. "Accept your defeat and let fate take its course." With a resigned sigh, Awamo and Ewin surrendered to Father Zeno's overwhelming strength. Although they had fought with all their heart and soul, they knew that they could not defeat the Supreme Being in front of them. Father Zeno, with a compassionate look, looked at them benevolently. "Rest now, my brave creations," he said gently. "His bravery will be remembered throughout the universe." Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, extended his hand towards the exhausted Ewin and Awamo. In an instant, a powerful burst of cosmic energy emanated from his palm, enveloping Awamo and Ewin in a dazzling radiance. Ewin and Awamo screamed in agony as Father Zeno's energy enveloped them, feeling every fiber of their being torn apart under the relentless power of the Supreme Being. Their bodies, imbued with divine light, were slowly consumed in the maelstrom of energy, fading little by little into the ether of the cosmos. Awamo and Ewin fought with all their might to resist the cataclysm that engulfed them, but it was useless. The power of Father Zeno surpassed them in every respect, and they were soon reduced to mere shadows of their former glory. With the last gasp, Awamo and Ewin exploded, leaving body parts all over the mental space, dissipating into cosmic nothingness while their essence merged with the universe. At that precise moment, we return to the earthly plane, where the fierce battle between the most powerful warriors of Thraxus Nocturne and the shadow creature was reaching its climax. Bursts of energy and thunderous crashes echoed in the air, while Bardock, in the middle of the combat, glimpsed Awamo and Ewin, who were lying unconscious on the ground, enveloped in a halo of divine light. Surprise and dismay were reflected on the faces of the warriors, who momentarily stopped their frantic struggle upon realizing the situation. Bardock, his eyes wide open, watched in horror as Iwin and Awamo's bodies began to shake, emanating flashes of energy that increased in intensity with each passing second. A tense silence enveloped the battlefield as everyone watched the scene in disbelief. Suddenly, a heart-rending explosion echoed in the air, making the earth and sky tremble. Bardock and the other warriors were thrown back by the force of the explosion, protecting themselves as best as they could from the shockwave that was spreading around them. When the afterglow of the explosion faded, what was left was a smoking crater where Awamo and Iwin once stood. The warriors slowly stood up, stunned by what they had just witnessed, as the shadow creature, now shrouded in an even denser darkness, prepared to lash out again before the protecting warriors of Thraxus Nocturne. Bardock clenched his fist determinedly, feeling a mixture of sadness and fury burn inside him. He knew that they must continue the fight, not only for the honor of their planet, but also in memory of the brave fallen guardians. With a war cry, the warriors rushed into combat again, determined to avenge the loss of their comrades and protect their home from the darkness that threatened to consume it. After the devastating explosion that killed Awamo and Iwin, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne gathered in a circle, still stunned by what had happened. Bardock, with a gloomy look, broke the silence with a grave tone.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
Turles, frowning, shook his head in disbelief.
I don't know, but we can't let this sacrifice be in vain. We need to get this thing over with once and for all.
Raditz, with his fist clenched, furiously nodded determinedly.
You're right! Awamo and Iwin gave their lives to protect this planet. We cannot disappoint his sacrifice.
Frieza, with his usual impassive expression, spoke in a cold and calculated tone.
The death of Iwin and Awamo should not be in vain. We must unite and concentrate our efforts on defeating that shadow creature.
Cooler, with a serious look, added determinedly,
We are facing an unprecedented threat, but if we fight together, we can overcome it. Let's do it for the honor of Thraxus Nocturne, for the legacy of our brave comrades.
Bardock nodded solemnly, his jaw tense with determination.
So, are we in agreement? We'll fight together until the end and avenge our fallen.
The warriors nodded in agreement, sharing a look of determination and unity. With their hearts filled with determination, they prepared to face once again the darkness that threatened their home. As the warriors prepared to face the shadow creature again, a fierce determination burned in their hearts. Turles, feeling the energy of the battle, was the first to unleash his power.
It's time to show them our true power!
With a powerful scream, Turles wrapped himself in an aura of energy. Her dark hair turned golden and her eyes shone with a dazzling intensity. The energy of the Super Saiyan emanated from his being, infusing strength and determination into his entire being. Raditz, inspired by Turtle's example, followed suit.
It's my turn!
With a burst of energy, Raditz's dark hair bristled, turning golden just like his brother's. His ki increased dramatically, emanating a commanding presence that filled the battlefield. Seeing the transformation of his comrades, Bardock also joined the fray.
I can't stay behind!
With a battle cry, Bardock unleashed all his power. His fiery aura enveloped him in a higher golden glow. His energy increased to astronomical levels, propelling him towards a higher form of his race. Frieza, observing the transformation of the Saiyans, did not want to be left behind.
The time has come to show my true strength!
With a burst of energy, Frieza transformed into his golden form of maximum power similar to 100% full power. His body radiating a golden glow. His power multiplied several times, turning him into an unstoppable force that rivaled the sunlight itself. Cooler, feeling the energy surrounding him, decided to join the fight with all his might.
It's time to unleash my true potential!
With a flash of energy, Cooler transformed into his metallic form, his body glowing with a metallic luster. His stamina and power increased exponentially, making him an invincible force that would defy even the gods. With their transformations complete, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne once again faced the shadow creature with renewed determination and a power that eclipsed any darkness. In the skies of Thraxus Nocturne, the battle continued as the transformed warriors faced off against the shadow creature, a being whose dark power threatened to devour everything in its path. With each of the warriors unleashing their full potential, the cosmos trembled under the force of their epic showdown. The golden aura of Turles, Raditz, and Bardock, combined with the imposing presence of Frieza and Cooler in their transformed forms, formed a dazzling spectacle in the night sky. Energy flickered around them, lighting up the darkness with golden and silver flashes as they prepared for the final showdown. The shadow creature, sensing his power of his adversaries, emanated a rumbling roar that echoed through the planet. His dark form seemed to twist and distort as he prepared for the final assault.
It's time to end this once and for all!
With a battle cry, Turles lunged forward. His speed increased by his Super Saiyan form. The shadow creature responded with an onslaught of dark energy, but Turles nimbly dodged it, moving with astonishing speed across the battlefield. Raditz and Bardock followed Turles' lead, attacking with relentless ferocity. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature's attacks were swift and fierce, but the Saiyans deftly dodged them, responding with even more powerful blows.
Father, let's keep the pressure on this thing. We can't let it destroy our home. I know. We're not going to allow this monster to destroy Thrax's Nocturne. Our power is more than enough to end it. That's right. You taught us to fight with courage and determination. We'll not back down before this creature is destroyed. Take this!
The shadow creature dodged Bardock's attack with agility, launching its counterattack with its sharp claws.
Careful, Father! Don't worry about me. I'm more than ready for this. And take this too!
Raditz's attacks hit the shadow creature hard, but it quickly recovered and counterattacked with a surge of dark energy.
Damn, this thing's tougher than I thought. We can't give up now. Our planet depends on us. You're right. Let's show you what we're capable of.
The two Saiyans launched into the air attack once more with renewed determination. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature, although resistant, was overcome by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Turles, with his golden hair flowing behind him, launched a quick series of precise punches, each one carrying with it the power of his transformation into Super Saiyan. His movements were fluid and graceful, as if he were dancing around his enemy, dodging every attack with impressive agility.
There's no escape for you, monster! Your darkness can't compete with the power of the Super Saiyan!
With a battle cry, Turles lashed out at the shadow creature, striking with overwhelming force. Every blow resounded in the air, shaking the battlefield with its power. The shadow creature was fighting desperately, but its attack seemed weak compared to Turles' ferocity. Meanwhile, Raditz and Bardock were continuing their assault on the shadow creature. Their attacks were coordinated and precise, each complementing the other in a deadly dance of destruction. The shadow creature found itself increasingly cornered, unable to cope with the combined might of the Saiyans.
Come on, Father. We know we can stop this thing. I know, Raditz. Let's keep pushing until there's nothing left of this creature.
With renewed determination, the two Saiyans redoubled their efforts, launching a series of devastating attacks against the shadow creature. Each blow echoed in the air, carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. Frieza and Cooler were watching the battle intently from a distance, their cold gazes evaluating every move of the Saiyans and the shadow creature. As the fight intensified, they noticed with increasing concern how the shadow creature began to gain more strength, releasing a dark energy that threatened to destabilize this situation.
It seems that the things are getting more complicated than I expected. Yes, the shadow creature seems to be gaining ground. If we don't intervene soon, we could face an even more dangerous situation.
With a cold determination, Frieza and Cooler exchanged a glance before heading towards the battlefield. His presence made itself felt immediately. His overbearing aura flooded the area as they prepared to face the shadow creature.
Looks like we need to intervene before things get out of control. I agree. We cannot allow the shadow creature to wreak more havoc on our planet.
With surprising speed, Frieza and Cooler launched into action, deploying all the power in an effort to contain the shadow creature. His attacks were precise and devastating, each blow carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home. However, the shadow creature was not going to be easily defeated. With a thunderous scream, he split into 4 separate beings, each one darker and more malevolent than the last. The earth trembled under their weight as they advanced towards the warriors, ready to unleash their fury on them.
It seems that this creature has more tricks up its sleeve than we thought. It doesn't matter. We have our own tricks.
Well, guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.